What up, everybody? It's your boy Jerome. I'm back with a review for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Season 5, Episode 9, titled True Hollywood Stories. So, without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright, so this video opens up with Tierra Marie. You know, she is still in her feelings about the whole situation that's happening between her and Akbar with this sex tape being leaked and all that kind of stuff. And Brooke is meeting up with Tierra today. And Brooke is basically telling Tierra about her whole sordid past with Akbar, how he tried to pick her up and, you know, tried to be friendly with her son and her mom and all that kind of stuff. And how she's had friends who over the years have told her that they've dated Akbar and all that kind of stuff. And basically, Brooke feels like this might be a publicity stunt for Akbar and all that kind of stuff with this whole sex tape with Tierra. You know, because we all know that Tierra, you know, fell off of, music and all that kind of stuff. But now she's coming back. I'm not gonna say coming back into music, but she's coming back into the scene, you know, where everybody is seeing her. So Brooke feels like maybe this was a ploy by Akbar, you know, basically, and all that kind of stuff, just trying to get some attention and some notoriety and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, Tierra is telling Brooke how she is suing Akbar, you know, basically just to defend herself, so that people know that she was not the one who released that sex tape, that it was him who released the sex tape. And then she tells her that she's having that press conference and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, she's telling her about how Nikki never responded to her text messages and all that kind of stuff. And how Paris told her that the reason why she wasn't coming is because Paris just does not want to get involved with all that legal stuff. Which I absolutely get, the fact that Paris does not want to get involved in illegal stuff, because there are people out there who don't like to deal with the law and all that kind of stuff. So I get that part. But for Nikki to, you know, sit there and completely ignore Tierra, that shit is something that I don't understand. Like, you and Paris were the ones who was all up in Tierra's business, but when the shit comes down and, you know, crumbles and all that kind of shit, what kind of friends are y'all that y'all not there for y'all girl when y'all are the ones who put this whole shit in motion? Okay, so it is the day of Tierra's press conference. So Tierra is there with Lisa Bloom and her other attorney, and I'm like, oh my God, Lisa, this is all you do is just pick up people off of Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, wherever, and just make these frivolous ass cases. I mean, the revenge porn is not frivolous, but some of these cases that you and your mama pick up, I'm like, really? Y'all just doing this for some kind of notoriety and all that kind of shit. So we find out that because, you know, when Tierra was up there giving her speech and all that kind of stuff, her and Lisa, when they're giving their speeches, you got Alejandra, the buff dried up prune out there. She's telling them that Akbar wasn't the one that leaked the photos, that it was actually her. And I'm like, what the fuck? Which I figured it was either Alejandra or that bitch Sade. I figured it was one of those two that leaked that photo and that sex tape of Tierra. I just didn't know which one it was. And, you know, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, so you gonna actually sit here and admit this shit on camera, knowing that in LA there is the such thing as revenge porn, which is what Tierra is suing Akbar for, but you gonna blatantly and openly say this in front of the cameras? But whatever. If you don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck either. Now, here's the thing that got me with this whole scene. So, I got why Paris said she couldn't go. She don't fuck with the law. But then Nikki never even responded to Tierra's text messages, and here you both are on somebody's rented house, on their couch, eating popcorn and drinking mimosas and watching Tierra. Instead of being there to support your friend, you are sitting here watching her on TV. Like, that's some bullshit. Like, you couldn't even call, and this is to Nikki, baby. You couldn't call her and be like, you know what, TT, I can't come to the you know, press conference because I'm afraid of, you know, this and this and that. But instead you sit on this couch with Paris, press conferencing and chilling and all. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, that's some, like, you just as fake as your whole body is. Like, everything about Nikki is fake. Her tits, her ass, her hair, her everything, her personality, like, it's fake as fuck. And then you got K Michelle. Who was K Michelle with anyways? But K Michelle basically doesn't believe this whole situation. And I knew with K Michelle why she didn't believe it. Because she's thinking back to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Was that season 2 or was that season 3 when Mimi and Nico supposedly had their sex tape stolen, when it finally came out that the sex tape was leaked by both of them. So I get why K Michelle feels the way she feels, because she's been in this situation before. She didn't believe Mimi when Mimi said that the tape was, Nico lost his bag at the airport and somebody got hold to the tape. So I definitely get where K Michelle is coming from. And then, you got TT. She's thanking Moniece and Brooke both for being there. And, not Moniece, but Brooke tells Tierra basically that, Alejandra, the dried up prune, told her, she overheard her talking, saying that she was the one that leaked the sex tape. And then Tierra still basically almost in a sense defending Akbar, like, defending him and still blaming him at the same time. I'm like, Tierra, girl, you are stupid as shit. Like, Tierra needs to learn how to love herself first before she can try to love anybody else. That's what Tierra's biggest problem is she doesn't love herself enough. So we got Tierra, Brooke, and Moniece. They are together after the press conference. Tierra's talking about her phone has been ringing since the press conference, and the blogs have been talking nonstop since the press conference. So, Moniece asked about Nikki and Paris. Now, Tierra tells her basically that, Paris did tell me that she wasn't going to be able to come to the press conference because, basically she just doesn't deal with the law and all that kind of stuff. And then with Nikki, she says, I text Nikki, but Nikki never responded to my text messages, so I don't know what's up with that one. And then, Moniece is like, I think that maybe, Tierra loves Nikki more than Nikki loves her, which is true. Looking at that scene with Paris and Nikki is not as good of a friend to Tierra as Tierra has been to Nikki and all that kind of stuff, which I get that. And then Brooke tells them how they basically just need to pull up on Nikki and figure out what the fuck is going on with her. And Moniece is talking about how she is going to go in the studio and work with Rockstar and all that kind of stuff. And Brooke is like, she gonna come check it out. And then, Brooke mentions how they are going to go to London. And basically it's a girls trip and they want Tierra there as well. So I guess all the girls are on board to go to London. Alright, so then we got Nikki, baby. She is having another bad bitch brunch or whatever the fuck that shit is called. So, she got Paris there, but she didn't invite TT this time. And, basically Paris is telling her about, Bridget Kelly going to London and all that kind of stuff. And Paris is taking it upon herself to invite Nikki. And here's my thing. Bridget invited Brooke and Moniece. And here they invited Tierra. And then you got Paris, who was invited by Bridget, and now she's inviting Nikki. Like, goddamn, did she say y'all can have a +1, +2, and +3? Because y'all inviting a whole lot of motherfuckers on the trip. I know she said a girls trip, but I think she might have meant her core group of girls, but whatever. Mona's paying for this budget, so y'all can take whoever the fuck y'all want to take, I guess. So then you got Moniece and TT. They pull up, and then, they go in there where Nikki is, and, they want to know what's going on with Nikki and all that kind of stuff. And Nikki says that, the day of Tierra's press conference, she was with her dad in the hospital. And I'm like, Nikki, bullshit. No, I'm not going to call bullshit completely. I'm going to call partial bullshit. Because let's put it at this. We don't know when Nikki and Paris watched their press conference. But it is bullshit because you guys did sit there and watch the press conference. So, like, that was bullshit. Like, I'm not saying that she went at the hospital with her dad. But you went up with them all fucking day. Like, at some point you left to go meet up with Paris and watch this press conference with Paris. So that is complete bullshit. And, Tierra is upset because, when Nikki's sex tape came out, Tierra was right there by her side. Even when her mom was in the hospital, Tierra was by her side. And the whole thing with Tierra was, I'm not asking you to be with me all fucking day. I'm just asking you to be there with me while I go through this, difficult time right now. Just, doing this press conference. And I got where Tierra was coming from. And then, she's talking about how, she was there for her when her brother committed suicide and all that kind of stuff, and how she's been a good friend to Nikki. And she just does not feel that Nikki has been a good friend to her, which I absolutely 100% agree. Nikki is a fake-ass person with them fake-ass titties, fake-ass ass, fake-ass everything, and fake-ass personality. But, and then Moniece chimed in, and she says that they've all been victims of, revenge porn, and they all should support each other, which is 100% true. I was really happy that Moniece actually did say, fuck it. I'm going to be there for Tierra and I'm going to go support Tierra. I did like that. And then, Nikki said, and then Nikki is coming up with more and more bullshit basically saying that she was fearful that Akbar would put something out about her. Like, what does Akbar have on you to put out against you? Like, your sex tape has already been released. We know your body is fake. Like, what is there for Akbar to put out on you? Like, please tell us. But she does end up apologizing to Tierra and, about, not being there, which that was some fucked up bullshit. And if I was Tierra and I'm watching this episode tonight, I'd be even more pissed off the fact that her and Paris was sitting there eating popcorn and drinking mimosas while I'm having this press conference. Like, that's bullshit. Like, what the fuck? So then we get Apple Watts. She is filming this music video for this artist by the name of Marcus Anthony, who is good friends with Rockstar. And, Amber Diamond is in there as well. She overhears Apple talking about, Rockstar and all that kind of stuff. And then we find out that Apple and Amber are friends because they've done music videos with each other. So they hit it off, and they are good friends with one another. And, Amber is sitting here telling Apple about the whole situation that happened at her single release party that her mama had for her, where her mama wasn't feeling the song, and she told Rockstar that she wasn't feeling the song, so she stopped the record, and then out of nowhere Rockstar just basically plays the raw vocals of her singing, which was completely fucked up. I think Rockstar is a complete fuck nigga with all the shit that he does. And then Apple is telling Amber how she's looking for a manager and all that kind of stuff, and then Amber then mentions her mother. Maybe her mama can manage and all that kind of stuff, because she tells her how her mama put down the 20 stacks on Rockstar doing that song that was fucked up. So Amber is gonna pitch Apple Watts to her mama and see if maybe her mama will manage Apple. We'll see how that goes. Alright, then you got Amber Diamond. She's at her mama's house, and she's basically apologizing to her mama for everything that happened and at the party and all that kind of stuff. And then her mama says, you know what, maybe I don't need to manage you right now. Maybe I just need to be your mother and all that kind of stuff. And then she asked Amber, where's Apple? When she asked her that, Apple's at the door, ringing the doorbell, and she goes down there and she lets Apple in. So basically, Apple sits down with Sean and all that kind of stuff, and Sean just wants to know about her personal life and her business life. So, Apple starts to tell her story, and then she also tells her that, she's got to go to jail for a month. And I'm like, a month? Like, shit, bitch, I wouldn't be able to go to jail for a day. Not even an hour. The fuck? And then, basically, Sean does want to work with Apple, and, Apple plays her music for her. Now, Sean been spilling all her tea on this show since we first saw her. First, she said she don't want Amber out there sucking and fucking like she did. And then she said by the time she was 18, she had 3 kids. I'm like, damn, bitch, how old were you when you started having kids? What, 14, 15 years old? Like, god damn. How the fuck do you have 3 kids by the time you are 18 years old? Like, was that all you knew how to do was fuck? No offense, but god damn, was that all you knew how to do was just lay on your back and get fucked without a condom? Like, god damn. But that shows why she looks as young as she does. But motherfucker, couldn't be me. 3 motherfucking kids at 18 years old. I'm not gonna judge because my mama had 2 kids at 18 years old. So nope. She had 3 as well. Shut up. Never mind. I'm done. Alright, and then we got Bridget Kelly. She is previewing a song off of her album that she's coming up with. You got Brooke there, you got Moniece there, you got Marcus there, and you got Donatella there. So, Brooke goes over to Moniece. She doesn't really know Moniece. This is actually her first time meeting Moniece. And, she goes up to Moniece and tells her that, Tierra is having that press conference, and that, her Paris and Nikki are not going to be there and all that kind of stuff. And how basically since they're not going to be there, Brooke says that she's going to be there and she wants Moniece to come as well. And Moniece said, she hasn't talked to Tierra since that whole intervention shit last year. And, she just, she doesn't really know how to feel about it. But she tells Brooke that she will think about it and consider it. So then Bridget comes up there with Donatella, who put this whole event together. And I'm sitting here looking at this. I'm like, Bridget, that place looked really empty. It looked like it was just maybe a splash of people here and there. But whatever. So she's telling them how Donatella put that together, and how Donatella has also put together for her to go to London and promote this song and all that kind of stuff, and how she wants this to be a girls trip and all that kind of stuff. So then Jay Will, he shows up, and Jay Will is in his feelings because of the advice that Moniece gave him, to go to the audition for the Pride thing as himself and not go as Candy. So he's in his feelings about that. So he pulls Moniece to the side, and then he's telling Moniece about everything that happened, how he did good and all that kind of stuff, but how Mr. Ray and his judges wanted Candy there. And then, he's telling her how, LaBrittany booked the gig, but, he didn't, all that kind of stuff. My whole thing is, why did you take her to that? Like, that was an audition for you. Why would you take her there? Like, that makes no sense to take somebody there that is competition for you, but she booked it and you get upset because she booked it, but you are the one that, in fact, took her there. And then, Moniece is talking about how, LaBrittany fucked, Diamonds and Pearls. Shout out to Forest Rocks with that one. And a whole bunch of other shit. And I'm like, Moniece, what does that have to do with you? But she does spot Rockstar in the crowd. So she goes over there and she talks to Rockstar. She let us know that she's known Rockstar for a long time because she's friends with Rockstar's adoptive sister and all that kind of stuff. And then she's talking about how she's thinking about getting back into music and all that kind of stuff, and how she basically wants to work with Rockstar. And I'm like, I would not want to work with Rockstar. Just looking at all the shit that he has done this season so far, ain't no way in hell I would work with that motherfucker. First, it was Amber Diamond. Then it was Little Lyrica. Like, I would not want to work. I know that Moniece doesn't know about any of this stuff, but, looking at it from a viewer standpoint, I would not want to work with that motherfucker. He is unprofessional as fuck. Alright, so then you got K. Michelle. She is meeting up with Akbar to talk about music and all that kind of stuff. Now, while she is sitting down with Akbar, she does ask him if he was the one who leaked the sex tape between him and Tierra. Akbar says no. Then she's like, well, was it Alejandra or was it, Sade? He doesn't really answer the question, so he's beating around the bush. But he does say that Tierra did piss somebody off enough for them to leak that sex tape. And I'm like, who did she piss off enough for them to leak that sex tape? Like, Tierra didn't do anything when it came down to, her finding out about you and your wife and Alejandro the Dried Prune. That was Paris and that was Nikki. Like, how did Tierra piss anybody off in this situation? Like, I think it's bullshit. So, then he's talking about with the sex tape, it wasn't really a sex tape because, Tierra couldn't take the pipe. And I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Like, when it comes to Akbar, looking at him on TV, his teeth, they bother the fuck out of me. It looks like a white picket fence with a whole bunch of fucking spaces in between them. Like, what the fuck? And then while he's talking to K. Michelle, he's talking about how he's trying to recruit K. Michelle to come and be a part of his harem of hoes. Like, what? And then, K. Michelle basically turned his ass down. And he's like, well, can we still work together? And K. Michelle was like, I don't get involved with all that kind of messy shit. And I was here for K. Michelle. Like, do not involve yourself in any of his bullshit. Like, work on your music, but work on your music with somebody else that ain't him. Like, I never even heard anything about Akbar until this whole Tierra situation happened. So, how can you, so if anybody out there has heard anything good about Akbar, if anybody know who he's produced or anything like that, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, Akbar is a fuck nigga and full of shit. Alright, so then we got Jay Will and LaBrittany. He meeting up with her, she's having a rehearsal and all that kind of stuff. And basically they have not saw each other since the the audition that they were at together. And she just asked him how things went. He telling her it went good, but they kept questioning him about Candy and all that kind of stuff, and how they compared him to her and all that kind of stuff, and how he's in his feelings and all that kind of shit. And basically he tells LaBrittany that if she was any real friend of him, that she would not have taken that gig. Now here's my thing: if you were any real friend of hers, you wouldn't be like, look her, bitch, you booked this shit, I don't want you to do it, and that's stopping her money. Like, that's not a real friend to tell your friend to stop making money because you and your feelings because somebody picked like her over you. Like, that's bullshit. And then, you know, LaBritta's like, fuck it, shit. You can have that little, you can have the prize stuff. That's not even something that I'm worried about at this point because I'm going to London and all that kind of stuff because Paris invited. I'm like, God damn, Paris. Y'all inviting +1s, +2s, and +3s to this motherfucker. And then, you know, LaBrittany and Jay Will, they started getting into it because Jay Will tells her that, you know, Moniece told him that she was fucking clutching pearls and all that kind of shit. And like I said, they just started arguing, and I'm like, this shit is stupid and petty as all the fuck. Like, what the fuck is going on with these two? Like, I was confused just sitting there looking at those two argue over nothing. Well, actually, yes, it's over nothing. Absolute pure nothing. And then we got Moniece. She is in the studio with what's that bitch name? What is his fucking name? Rockstar. So, you know, Moniece doesn't feel like she's singing right and all that kind of stuff. And I guess he's trying to reassure her that she is. But she says that she's singing her lyrics incorrectly. So then he started having her sing the lyrics to him. And then Brooke walks in. And, you know, when Brooke walks in, you know, she hears him singing and all that kind of stuff. And then Brooke chimes in and starts singing the song too. And I'm like, Brooke, really? Like, why you gotta come in here and outshine this girl in her studio session? Like, that's bullshit, Brooke. So, you know, Moniece, when Brooke starts singing, she gets in her feelings and all that kind of stuff. She was like, well, maybe Brooke should take the song and all that kind of stuff. And Brooke was like, nah, girl, that's your song. You take it. So, you know, they want Moniece to go back into the studio and to the booth and, you know, sing the song and all that kind of stuff. So when Moniece goes into the booth, you know, Brooke asks Rockstar how's things going. And then this fuck ass nigga gonna sit here and say, play the real vocals. And I'm like, really? Why does he get off by doing this shit to people? Like, play the real vocals? So then in the booth, you got Moniece and they're having a huge fucking panic attack. They have to call in, you know, the EMTs and all that kind of stuff. They do eventually calm Moniece down just a little bit. And then they, you know, take Moniece out of the studio and all that kind of stuff. Now, Rockstar, them, you know, while Moniece is in the studio, he turns on the microphone so that he can hear what's going on in the studio and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you a punk ass nigga for real. Like, what? Like, what kind of nigga do some shit like that? And, you know, once they, you know, get Moniece out into the ambulance and all that kind of stuff, Brooke goes into the studio and sings the song. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, this reminds me of Love and Hip Hop when Love and Hip Hop New York when Rubbin' Pennies gave Erica Mena that song, but then he took that song back from Erica Mena and put Olivia on that song. But, you know, that was Love and Hip Hop. Like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.